So this is a quick video how to do a t-test in Excel. A t-test is when you have two conditions and you'd like to compare the differences between the conditions to see if it's significant. So my two conditions was just measuring reaction time to a stimulus in milliseconds. So I have my reaction times for condition A, my reaction times for condition B, and I'd like to see if there's a difference. Now these two means can either come from the same people, so for example this could be reaction times in the morning and this could be reaction times in the afternoon from the same people, so each row represents one subject. Or it could be that I had separate subjects in each condition. So I tested these participants in the morning and a separate set of participants in the afternoon. Now depending on what your design is, depends on what type of t-test you'd use. For the first type, when the means come from the same participants, it will be a related t-test, sometimes called a paired t-test. The way to do this in Excel is to first of all select a clear cell. So here I've got E6 highlighted. Then you hit on the keyboard equals, then write t-test, open brackets. Now you can see here that Excel is prompting me to enter array 1. What this means is it would like you to first select the means from the first condition. So here we have these means, so I just click and drag all of these. Once they are selected, I hit comma, and we'll see that we've moved on. Now Excel is asking you to highlight array 2. So this is just the means from the second condition. So now I highlight the second ones. Now I hit comma. Microsoft is now asking me to determine how many tails the test has. So if you predict that there will be a difference between these two conditions and you have a directional hypothesis, i.e. that condition A will be faster than condition B, for example, then this would be a one-tailed test because you predict the direction of the effect. If you're unclear, it's always best to do a two-tailed test. So this is when you predict that although there may be a difference, you're not sure which condition will be different, faster or slower than the other. So in my case it's a one-tailed test, so I just click 1, hit comma again. Now it's asking me for type. Now this is where you distinguish in Excel whether the data comes from the same participants or from different participants. You have to enter a number here from 1 to 3, so 1, 2 or 3, depending on what your design is. So my design is a repeated measures design. Each participant took part in both conditions. This would be type 1. Type 2 is where the means come from different groups. Type 3 is also where they come from different groups. So what's the difference between type 2 and type 3? Well, type 2, if you were to enter a 2 here instead of a 1, you're telling Excel that the means come from different groups and that the variance associated with each group are the same, statistically the same. So you're saying that the two groups, the variance of the two groups have equal variance. If the variance of the two groups is unequal, you would do a type 3. If you're unsure whether there's equal variance between the two groups, you can test for this statistically. Perhaps cover this in a different video, but for simplicity, always best to assume that it's unequal variance because that makes the tests stricter. So you would choose type 3. But for our case, it's a repeated measures design, so we type 1. Now we close off the brackets and hit return. And now Excel has computed a value of 0.01672. What this is your probability. So this is your p-value. So in psychology we use criteria of p less than 0.05. So our value here is less than 0.05. So that says that the difference between these two conditions is significant at the 0.05 level. So just below it we'll have a go at the other ones. So again you just equals t-test, open your parentheses, select array 1 and then array 2. Let's do a one-tailed test again. And now do a independent t-test, so between subjects, but equal variance is assumed. close brackets, hit return, and here we have a p-value of 0.00468, so it's highly significant also. So this is how to do a t-test in Excel. It's really simple, so have a play around with it and see how you get on.